Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com back today with another daily crypto update. Today I'm going to go over my normal schedule, which is Rayblox, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Ripple, Neo, Vertcoin, Monero, Omisego, Lisk, Cardano, and IOTA. All of those in a technical analysis on TradingView in that order in just a second. Other than that, if you're interested in monthly cryptocurrency buying opportunities or 5 high return cryptocurrencies for your 2018 portfolio, you can find both of those things in my premium content. I always have a link to that in the description of the video. Otherwise, if you want to start trading altcoins, go check out Binance. Also have a link to them in the description of this video. Let's get started with the general market update. We can see that a lot of cryptocurrencies are still red today, and there are a few exceptions like Neo that broke above $150, up around 10% over the past 24 hours, so not doing bad there. Really nice move by Neo, but as you can see, there are a few outliers that are green. Still, a lot of cryptocurrencies are red though, and what that means is we're still in this whole pullback mode that we've been in now for the past few days. It's not necessarily a bad thing, right? It's healthy to have these pullbacks, especially considering that we've been pretty much going up nonstop now for a while. So this was bound to happen. What we have to make sure is that we're not entering some kind of bigger cryptocurrency market downtrend, and that this is just hopefully a short-term pullback. I'll try answering that question when we get into the charting in just a second. But let's move over to the first chart now with Rayblox, and we can see that I think we finally put in a bit of a bottom here in the short term, and that at the very least we're probably going to consolidate a little bit. It looks like it's ready to move slowly but surely higher, and that's because for one, we put in a pretty nice drop here that we bounced back above our main support level right now, which is at 151,000 satoshis, and especially because of the fact that we're now putting in higher highs and higher lows, especially higher lows, right? So previously we were in our downtrend and we're putting in lower lows, lower highs. That continued for a while until we finally put in a bottom, and now, like I said, higher lows and even a couple higher highs. So that's exactly what we want to be seeing. That shows that a little bit of a reversal is in play here, and I expect that to continue. Of course, we have to break above 181,000 satoshis to really be in the clear here and to hopefully start to climb back along our, get back to where we were previously, because we did have a pretty long downtrend. So get back to 222,000 satoshis. That's going to take a little bit of time, but we can definitely see that happen as soon as we get the break above 181,000 satoshis. Another thing that I'm going to point out is that it looks like we're flattening out a little bit on the Bollinger Bands, which is a good sign, and especially if we start to see that start to uptrend, it could mean that we're really going to get that move higher finally and start to climb back to our previous highs. You have to remember that Rayblox is going through a little bit of issues, right? Some node issues, and that the developers are working on it. From what I've seen, they'll be fixed within the beginning of the next week. So that combined with the Binance listing, hopefully that comes soon, should really help put the price back to the previous highs. Let's get over to the Bitcoin charts now. Bitcoin is currently in a consolidation pattern. It's actually in a symmetrical triangle formation. So what that means is that it's bouncing on the uptrend line, but it has some downward pressure from the downtrend line. It'll usually trade along these two trend lines until either breaking towards the upside or downside, which would really, at that point, set the trend for where we can expect the price to move, right? Either bullish or bearish. We're just going to have to wait till that happens. Usually it happens towards the end of the triangle formation, so it's still going to take a little bit of time here. And for now, I do expect it to continue to climb higher along this uptrend line. As far as the indicators go, still not looking great, right? We're still downtrending on the MACD, not really flattening out or getting any kind of bounce. Pretty flat on the RSI, and at least on the histogram, we have a little bit of an uptrend going, but no crossover just yet. So we definitely want to see some kind of signal that'll give us a little bit more information, because here there's not much to say. Time will tell for Bitcoin. And it's pretty similar for a lot of cryptocurrencies right now. To answer the question of are we entering some kind of bigger market downtrend, or is this just a temporary pullback? For now, we can't really be sure. At the current time being, it is just a pullback, because a lot of these cryptocurrencies are still uptrending and still are holding their more long-term uptrend lines, which means that we're still okay. But if we see that start to change and they actually start downtrending on a longer term time frame, that's when we might want to get a little bit more worried. Now, as for Ethereum, it's been acting very strong. Of course, one of the strongest cryptocurrencies out there recently, but it also is affected by the drop here, and we're seeing it pull back towards this primary uptrend line right here, even moving lower maybe towards the secondary uptrend line. We can see that on a lot of these indicators we're starting to top off a little bit, seeing that on the RSI moving back towards that 70 line, downtrending a little bit on the histogram, and topping off on the MACD. So wouldn't be surprised to see us lose this primary uptrend line. Of course, it is possible that we get a bounce here and start moving higher, but seeing how the market is acting a bit weak, Ethereum already had a pretty nice run. Wouldn't be surprised to see it come back and test this secondary uptrend line, like I said, right? Now, let's go over towards Litecoin and take a look at how Litecoin has been doing. So Litecoin is in a pretty similar situation as to what Bitcoin is in. So it's also in a symmetrical triangle formation, consolidating here. We can see the Bollinger Band starting to tighten up. I drew in a support level, pretty major support level right now, which is at around $218. I mean, if we were to drop lower, we'd probably get a bounce there, but for now, we're still in this symmetrical triangle formation, but we are coming towards the end of it, so definitely keep that in mind, and that'll set the trend, of course, to whichever side we break out of. The indicators are not looking great, not really getting any kind of flattening on the MACD, and definitely not a crossover, so we do want to see those two things happen before we can confirm that we're entering bullish territory again. At least we're uptrending on the histogram, but still not enough bullish signals. No real bearish signals, just continuation of what we were seeing, right? Like I said, the main thing here will be the price action of are we going to break towards the upside or downside, and of course the crossover or not on the MACD. Let's go over to and take a look at how Ripple has been doing. Ripple is currently finding some support on its uptrend line over here. This has been the uptrend line that carried the move all the way to, I mean, where it is now, right? This since the beginning of the breakout. So definitely a pretty major uptrend line. And it also bounced off that $1.75 support level. Unfortunately, though, as far as the indicators go, still downtrending on that MACD pretty strongly. Same thing on the histogram, and pretty much same thing on the RSI. It is flattening out a little bit, but overall, we still got a pretty nasty downtrend on that RSI. Ideally, we want to see some of these indicators start to slow down a little bit, start to flatten out, and maybe even start to round back up. We're not seeing that just yet. It's definitely possible that we will see that happen. To confirm that we're going to restart moving higher, we'll want to break above $2 again, right? Once that happens, I think we'll probably slowly but surely trend along the uptrend line, but if that doesn't happen soon, what we could see happen is move horizontally through the uptrend line and start consolidating a little bit in this area between $1.75 and $2. So it could really go either way here. It's still too early to tell, but same thing, a lot of these cryptos are still holding their more longer term uptrend lines, which is good, and we want to make sure that that continues. Definitely the main thing to look out for. Now, NEO got a move to new all-time highs today, all the way up to $178.47. So very nice move. But with that being said, we're seeing it already start to pull back a little bit, which is normal because it was a pretty strong move and the market is a bit weak. So if you look back at the previous breakouts, it's been very similar, right? We got our strong move that kind of pushed us above the upper Bollinger Band, and we pretty quickly pulled back every time. I think that we're probably going to see that happen again this time around. We can already see the RSI starting to test that 70 line for the third time here in a while. So definitely can see that flip a little bit more negative. As far as the RSI and MACD goes, still looking pretty strong, to be honest. If we do see a bit more of a drop for NEO, I don't think it'll drop much more than $1.39. There's some pretty big support there. If we do see the market get even more weak, then yes, we could fall back towards this uptrend line and bounce off that, but NEO has been pretty strong. It's been kind of like Ethereum, where it's been strong throughout any kind of, I don't think we'll lose this uptrend line either way, right? I think overall we will be climbing higher slowly but surely for NEO, but just after the pullback here, could see a little bit of a short-term pullback. Let's go over towards Vertcoin now and see what Vertcoin has been up to. So Vertcoin isn't looking great, right? We're still downtrending pretty badly for the time being, and every attempt to get out of that for now has failed. So it looks like we're going to come back and test that $5 support level, a little bit above that, $5.09 actually. No real sign of recovery for Vertcoin, and if anything now, it's really putting itself back into that downtrend on the indicators, on the RSI, MACD, and the histogram is kind of flat, but really look at that MACD, completely failed any kind of crossover, and really back to downtrending, which isn't the best sign. Doesn't look like that's going to change just yet, and that's why I'm saying we probably are going to test that $5.09 support level once again. Maybe bounce off that, could consolidate a little bit more, or we could lose that, right? There's no telling at this point, but we want to try to get out of the downtrend if we want to have any chance of recovering at this point. Until that happens, there's really no other way around it. Let's go over towards Monero now and see how Monero has been doing. So Monero is, once again, had a lot of important support levels here, but that changed because of I wiped all the charts after putting everything in night mode. As of right now, we're actually not looking too bad. We're just in our consolidation in between $350 and $417. Could go ahead and pull back this down a little bit more near $414, but around that $415 mark is where we have our resistance. As far as the indicators go, they're basically just consolidating, so not much to say. We can expect this to continue until we break above $416, but we do have this middle band, right, the brown line right here at $373, that is holding up the price and uptrending nicely. So that is at least one bullish thing. And like I said, until we break above $416, we're probably just going to continue to consolidate a little bit more. But let's go over to OmiseGO now and see what's going on with OmiseGO. So OmiseGO isn't actually looking that bad right now. It seems like we're still holding our uptrend line very nicely. It's trying to climb higher, right, bouncing off that uptrend line pretty much. So of course we do still have resistance over here at 26, and our support level is mainly at $22 right now in the short term. It looks like we're starting to lose a little bit of strength on the MACD, but didn't get any, and on the RSI and histogram really. At least we didn't get any kind of negative crossovers yet, right? So that's a good thing, and hopefully we'll see a bounce there, which should avoid that problem altogether. If we do start to see things get a little bit worse, I don't really see it breaking below $22, or definitely not below $20. So I would say if we don't see, some kind of strong bounce on the indicators, then maybe the price will start to move more horizontally and consolidate in between $22 and $26. Let's go over now to Lisk. So Lisk has actually been supported by a couple uptrend lines, and we broke out of our previous uptrend line. If I can draw that back, that would be good, right over here. So we're basically in this channel right here, right, in between our previous uptrend line and our current uptrend line. And I expect the price to continue in between these two trend lines, basically move slowly but surely higher. We do have a lot of support here at $25, and of course our primary uptrend line holding the price up. So I'm not too worried about seeing any kind of big drop here for Lisk. I think that the main dip was already put in. Indicators just trying to find a little bit of stability, still kind of moving a little bit lower, but we can see MACD kind of histogram kind of flatten out. Same thing on the RSI, and I'm going to point out a couple, we still have a little bit of an uptrend here going on the histogram. So same thing on the MACD actually, not looking that bad, but we do want to start to see these cross back into a more positive range, right? Because for now they're still in a negative bearish mode. But the price is holding up, and like I said, I'm not worried about it really either way. I think we're going to continue to move higher in this channel. We can see that Cardano is currently in a consolidation right after the pullback, and it's also an asymmetrical triangle formation. It's currently more towards the higher range of that, so it's experiencing a lot of resistance and downward pressure from the downtrend line, of course. At this point, we have the middle band still above the price. That could help it hold up a little bit more. We may come back, and if the market gets weak again, come back and test this 5,125 Satoshi level. Probably get a bounce off that. I don't think we're going to lose the uptrend line at this point for Cardano unless things get really bad. So probably going to move a little bit lower here, but sooner rather than later, we'll see it break through this downtrend line. You have to remember that Cardano has seen very few pullbacks, right? And every time it did see one, they were relatively small and controlled. This has been one of the messier ones now since the beginning of the uptrend. And as far as the indicators go, still looking okay. They definitely are moving a little bit lower, kind of flat on the RSI and histogram, but the MACD is definitely moving lower here, still downtrending. So we wouldn't want to see that start to flatten. We would want to see the MACD start to flatten out a little bit and round back up, but only time will tell, right? So basically some consolidation here for Cardano in this symmetrical triangle formation, and we'll just have to wait and see for the breakout, right? Let's go over to the final cryptocurrency of the daily crypto update, which is IOTA. IOTA is currently in a pretty tight range in between its two Bollinger Bands, which have really started to tighten up here, and that can also be confirmed by the support level at $3.41 and the resistance level at $4, right? We've been bouncing in between those two lines for quite some time now, so definitely putting in quite a bit of consolidation. The positive thing with that is that we're finally starting to see the indicators flatten out nicely as well, right? That can be seen on the RSI and on the MACD here, starting to flatten out a little bit, and the histogram has even been uptrending throughout all of this. So those are some good signs, and I think that as soon as we start to see that MACD really come back towards that orange line, we'll probably get a crossover, right? Because we already tested that twice. Probably going to break above $4 as well. So going to take a little bit more time, but I do think that's what's going to happen next. And with that being said, everyone, this is the end of the daily crypto update. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.